Hey everyone, it's me again and welcome to Faith's Feels. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Faith Grenade and I put makeup videos here on YouTube. At least, normally I do. And you should subscribe and hit that little bell icon down below. It'll notify you every time I upload so you don't miss a minute of this riveting action. So much action. So much action. You see this? This is Action Glow right here. Action Glow. You have stumbled across Faith's Feels, which is usually my feels on a makeup product or on life in general. And today, as of this week actually, July 24th, marked 1 year since my labiaplasty surgery. For those of you who are unfamiliar or haven't watched some of my most watched videos on my channel, hello. My name is Faith Grenade and I had labiaplasty surgery 1 year ago. I'm going to update you guys on how things are going since it's been a year. I mean, that's kind of a huge milestone. I wasn't going to make another one of these, and then people kept asking questions about it, and I was just like, alright, you know what, maybe I'll just address everything all in one video. That way I can point people here to answer some common questions from you guys and update you on how things have been. So, let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? If you're unfamiliar with what a bilateral labiaplasty is, it basically means that they take the labia or the inner lips and trim them down a tiny bit for comfort purposes. Some women are born with longer labia than others, and sometimes those labia can be exceedingly uncomfortable. You know, they can make it hard to walk, hard to sit comfortably, you know, they can get caught up in things during sexual activity and be really painful. And I dealt with that until my gynecologist, back when my husband was in the military, said, you know, we can fix this. And I was like, can you really? The surgery was very quick. It was, you know, an inpatient or an outpatient procedure, so I was just in and out. You know, they put me under for the whole thing, so I didn't really feel anything. And yeah, as far as I know, the recovery was pretty easy for me anyway. I was able to manage any discomfort or pain fairly well. The first day and a half was a little bit, you know, wonky, mostly because you're trying to get familiar with your medication schedule, and you're still coming out of anesthesia at that point, so you're kind of in the initial stages of recovery, and it can be a little uncomfortable, but yeah, after the first day and a half, it was a breeze, to be totally honest. Walking long distances was a little bit difficult initially, and then, you know, as time went on and as I recovered, you know, things got easier, obviously. A lot of people asked about the recovery time. How long did it take from day of the surgery to full recovery? And usually they tell you that in order to recover completely, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks, and I would say that's pretty accurate. And they usually say that you should wait about 6 to 8 weeks before engaging in sexual activity. I was feeling pretty good by about week 3. I was feeling pretty normal at that point, and then I was completely normal by week 4. I could walk and sit and move around. I rode a bike, you know, a month after the surgery, so obviously it really wasn't that bad. Now, I will preface this by saying I am not a doctor. You know, it is not my place to give medical advice. I can only speak from my personal experience. Everyone's recovery experience from this procedure is going to be different. So if you have questions that are medical in nature, please discuss them with your doctor. The next question that I got a lot was, did your insurance pay for it? Or / will my insurance pay for it? My insurance did pay for my procedure. I had TRICARE at the time, which is the insurance given to active duty military members and their families. The only requirement my insurance had is that the procedure be deemed medically necessary, and then they would pay for it, which my doctor did deem the procedure medically necessary, so TRICARE covered 100% of it. They covered the medications for afterward, they covered everything. I didn't have to worry about it at all, but, you know, TRICARE is a different medical insurance compared to some others. TRICARE is for military people only and their families, so I don't know. You know, people kept asking me, will Medicaid cover this? Will, you know, Blue Cross Blue Shield cover this? Will X and Y cover this? I'm not an insurance agent. I can't say that for sure. All I can do is speak from my personal experience. TRICARE did cover it for me, but that doesn't mean that it'll cover it for you. You have to talk to your insurance provider and your doctor about that. If insurance doesn't cover it, the average cost of the procedure ranges anywhere from like $3,500 to about $7,000 for the surgery itself. I don't believe that includes medication for afterward or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. Safe to bet like somewhere between $3,000 and $7,000 is what you could be expected to pay. A lot of people accused me of doing this for appearance reasons. A lot of people accused me, you know, tried to flame me and say like, oh, you know, all women's labias are beautiful. You shouldn't mess with what God gave you. Well, I personally think that God or source or spirit or whatever you want to call it, if that particular entity was meant to be human-like, that means that that particular entity makes mistakes. And you know, even if I were to have gotten this for appearance reasons, which I didn't, I was totally fine with the way my labia looked. I was not fine with the way they felt. But even if I did get this done for appearance's sake, who cares? If you want to do something that is going to make you feel better about yourself, that's going to make you happier, then go for it, man. If getting breast implants is going to make you more confident and that's why you're doing it, fucking go for it. Like, you know, don't let anyone tell you that what you're doing is wrong, because as long as you're doing it for the right reasons, that is all that matters. I did my procedure for comfort reasons and comfort reasons only. I was not concerned with appearances. I was not concerned with how my labia look. Most people don't even see them, except my husband, and he didn't care either, because a lot of people were trying to say that I was, you know, playing God or something, which, whatever. Like, those kind of people just want to feel powerful, and they do that by attempting to tear other people down for their decisions. I made this decision very consciously, with every single bit of information that I had about the risks involved, and I did it anyway. And to be honest, I don't regret it at all. Which brings me to my next common question. How are you doing right now? But, I mean, obviously this question is phrased differently. I'll get to that. As for right now, I'm doing great, guys. I can walk around comfortably. I can sit comfortably. I don't have to worry about having to adjust myself in public. You know, I can work. You know, I'm working now. I can work very comfortably, and I don't have to worry about it. Like, it's just so nice. Like, I feel like I have my life back, if that makes any sense. If I had to do it all over again, I would in a heartbeat. It was a very, very easy procedure for me, and it's a no-brainer, to be totally honest. It was so, like, what I needed, you know? Because now I'm a lot more comfortable as I move about the world, and I can walk and sit and, you know, ride a bike and, you know, all of that stuff without getting uncomfortable. So it's great. I haven't had any residual effects. So one of the most common questions that I get is, have you lost sensation? There are different ways of asking this question, some more tactful than others. And I sort of saw this coming. You know, of course, you're dealing with an intimate organ that is used for multiple purposes, both for waste disposal and for pleasure. So naturally speaking, people are going to want to hear about that eventually. But guys, there's a way to phrase that is very tactful. Remember, you are asking someone a very personal question about their sex life. So saying, do your lady parts still work? Can you still orgasm? Is really kind of inappropriate. Now, don't get it twisted. I don't mind answering this question, but you could be a little bit more tactful when you ask people about stuff like this. It doesn't bother me, but I am a survivor of sexual assault, and so many people in the world are, and questions like that can be really, really, like, problematic and triggering to people. It's not to me because I have, you know, recovered from that type of trauma and have sort of moved on with my life, but for some people it's not that easy, and for some people questions like that can really, really bother them. So it's important to sort of choose your words very carefully when asking someone about their intimate life, or just don't ask about it at all. If you're a man, it shouldn't matter to you. I had so many guys coming in my comments like, can you still orgasm? And it's just like, why do you want to know? You don't even have labia. Like, you're not even gonna get this procedure. I did have some people who did ask me very tactfully, so thank you for that. They did ask me, like, they expressed that they were worried about losing sensation because that is a possible risk of this surgery. There could be nerve damage as a result of the procedure and you can lose sensation. I am pretty asexual, to be honest, so I don't really engage in that kind of stuff too terribly often, especially not these days. I've been way too busy and oftentimes way too stressed, and I'm a Libra. We need to be stimulated up here before we can do anything. So, where my Libra's at. To answer your question, I haven't run into any complications at all regarding this procedure. I haven't run into any issues, I haven't run into any side effects, I haven't run into any after effects at all. That said, you know, my experience isn't necessarily typical. I mean, I could have had the ideal experience with this, and your experience might be different than mine. So it's important, again, to discuss the risks and benefits with your doctor and find out if this procedure is right for you before you go and make the commitment, because there are risks involved and it's important to be aware of those risks before going into something like this. You're still getting put under, you're still getting cut open. So it's like, you know, it's pretty serious shit. That's about it, really, guys. Those were the main questions that I was asked. So to recap, really, I feel great. I feel fine. Everything is wonderful. If I could do it all over again, I absolutely would. Insurance covered my procedure, but that does not mean it will cover yours. I experienced no adverse effects or complications with regard to internal or external function. Everything worked out great for me, but again, super, super important, guys. If you're thinking about getting this procedure done, talk to your doctor about it. They'll be able to better discuss with you the possible risks involved and what the procedure is actually like what it entails, because every doctor does it differently. My experience was excellent, but you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't any risks at all. I would encourage you, though, if you're thinking about getting this procedure, talk to your doctor. Like, be heard. And if your doctor doesn't take you seriously, find someone who will, because your comfort is a priority. And there's a lot of medical misogyny in the world right now, where doctors are not taking women's pain as seriously as they take men's pain, and that's a whole thing I could make an entirely different video about. Doctors, some doctors, not all of them, some doctors are not taking women seriously, and I don't want you guys to get discouraged if a doctor is like, oh, your labia look fine, like, you know, why would you want to get plastic surgery on them, or like judges you in that way. I don't want you to get discouraged. Keep advocating for yourself, because you deserve to be comfortable, you deserve to be happy, you deserve to feel good about yourself, and so just, like, you know, don't get discouraged. Keep at it. Keep at it, because eventually you will find a doctor who will take your concerns seriously the way mine did, and who will definitely be able to help you. And I think you deserve that. I think you deserve to be happy. So that's about it for me. Guys, that is my 1-year labiaplasty update. Life is good. Everything's great. I'm very, very busy though. So that's part of the reason why most of my videos lately have been a little bit phoned in. I haven't been as good about like adding the metadata and cards and cards and stuff. I'm still working on that, still working on getting my schedule organized. It's been a lot. There's been a tremendous time of change, a tremendous time of transition, but it's also a really good thing because it's a tremendous time of growth for me, and I'm really, really happy. I've got a lot of things coming down the pipeline right now that are really exciting, so you know, I'm looking forward to being able to actually talk to you guys about that and, you know, update you on everything that's been going on. But In the meantime, I hope you guys found this video helpful, informative, or entertaining. If you did, there's a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt. You know it deserves it. And if you want to see more from me, you've got a couple options now. You can click the videos on either side of my head to binge if you're bored or bummed out, or hey, you can hit that button that looks like my face and subscribe and become a member of the faithful today. I put out new videos every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me today. Thank you for your continued support and love, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles!